Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Pages, episode 2. This is the part of my channel where I like to talk about books and do book reviews. Like last week, this video is going to talk about 4 different books. The first being a classic, the second being a more current release, the third being one from a Canadian author, and the fourth being one I'm currently reading. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to announce the winner from the nail polish giveaway from last week as well. So, stay tuned for that. So, the first book, which is the classic this week, is A Movable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. Now, Hemingway is one of my all-time favorite writers, and this book is the one that resonates the most with me. It tells the story of Hemingway living in Paris in the 20s. It paints a vivid and passionate portrait of the author as a young man. It tells about his time with his son, his wife, with Zelda Neff Scott Fitzgerald. It's just... There's just something about the story. It's beautifully written. It's a book I've read and reread over and over again. And there's just something about it that's very relatable and very likable. Also, one thing I love about this book is at the end, there's a portion, once the story's over, called Fragments. And it's a collection of false starts from writing the introduction. And I love it. I love watching the kind of evolution of what was trying to be said and kind of the process. And I think that's an interesting glimpse. And I always love things like that when they're included. So this, if you're not familiar with Hemingway, this is a great place to start, I think. And even if you are, you cannot go wrong. Next is our most current, I think, book. I think this is more current than the next selection, but and this is You by Caroline Kepnes, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. This book I kind of picked up just on a whim when I was at a store that didn't have a whole lot of book selection and I needed something to read. And honestly, the blurb on the front by Stephen King calling it hypnotic and scary, totally original, was what led me to picking it up. And this book, oh my god, this book is quite the ride. It's the story of Joe and Guinevere who meet in a New York City bookstore. And from there, we quickly move into this dizzying and horrifying tale of obsession. And it kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I didn't know, I wasn't entirely sure where we were going to end up. And where we do end up is not what I expected at all. And Caroline is a fantastic writer. There were many times throughout reading the book that I would read passages to friends or even email passages to friends because they were just so clever and so beautiful, even though some of the subject matter certainly was not. And that's a special talent to have, I think. So next up is our Canadian selection, and it is Dear Life, written by Alice Munro. Now, Alice Munro is an absolute treasure. She's, excuse me, you guys, I have terrible allergies today. But Alice Munro is an absolute treasure. She's got a large and varied body of work. And this one in particular is a collection of short stories. Not her only one by any means. But to me there's just something so satisfying about a well-written short story. It takes so much talent to be able to tell a story in such a short amount of time. And yet also be able to pack a really good punch with it so that, you're left thinking about it late at night when you're trying to sleep. This happens quite often for me. But yes, as with Hemingway, if you're unfamiliar with Alice Munro, this is a great place to start. And but feel free to jump in anywhere because she's got a huge library, like I mentioned, and you can't go wrong. She's just, every story that she writes is just this gift, and she gives you these looks into ordinary lives, like a window, like you're peering through a window in somebody's house, and it's a life that could be yours or your neighbors or your friends, but yet it's so just so beautifully told that it makes it extraordinary and wonderful. All the everyday things. And now in this collection, I know she there are a few autobiographical stories from her childhood, which is very interesting. So definitely recommend this and all of Alice Munro's books. And finally, what I'm currently reading is The Blackthorn Key by Kevin Sands. Now, this book, my 11-year-old daughter picked up at a school book fair. Excuse me again, I'm so sorry. And she read it, and she loved it. And the whole time she was reading it, she kept chattering on about it. And when she was done, she thrust it towards me and said, "You have to read this, it's so good." So I've started reading it, and I'm about 4 chapters in. And it takes place in the 1600s, and it tells the story of Christopher, and he is an apprentice to an apothecary. And what starts off innocently enough has now begun to turn into intrigue and murder and cults and all kinds of things. And I'm genuinely enjoying the story. But most importantly, I'm loving being able to talk to it with my daughter, and she's loving that. And Kevin Sands, I just found out before I started filming this, from reading the author blurb in the back, is also Canadian. So this week you get 2 Canadians for the price of 1, and who doesn't love that? So that's it for books for today. For the next little while, I think I'm going to keep the format the same with the 4 different books. And after that, who knows? Who knows where we'll go? But I'm really enjoying talking with you guys about books. So, if you have a book you'd like to hear me talk about or get my opinion on, leave a comment down below, and also let me know what you're currently reading, because I would love to know that. And before we go, I just wanted to announce that the winner of the nail polish from the video last week is, I have this written down here, Manpreet, and I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, please forgive me. And I'm going to be getting in touch with you later today to get your information so I can get that polish off to you at the end of this week. So congratulations, and if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye guys.